Yo, and welcome to Shooting the Soil. Today we are checking out a microbial inoculant. It is Rootwise. This was used to grow the largest world record-setting pumpkin. And yeah, I've heard some great things about it. You could get it at buildasoil.com. And here it is under the microscope at 400x. So, my name is Matt. I'm a home gardener. Just finished up my certification in regenerative soil. And we are here learning about what we see under the microscope and how to use it to assess the biology of our soil, since that's the most important thing when it comes to the health of our plants and their nutrition. All right. So let's see what we can see down here. Seeing some round spore-like things. Not seeing a ton of bacteria, but a couple little ones wiggling around in there. It is just a powdered, dry culture in here, so it does take these a little bit of time to sort of for all the microbes to wake up. They do that so it's, nice and shelf stable. And then when you add it to the soil and it gets some water, they all wake up and start doing their thing and cycling the nutrients. So this product uses some, how do you say it, diatomic earth and some kelp extract and some humates. Yeah, so small on here. But yeah, so that's their the substrate, and then they inoculate it with the biology, and that's what we're looking at. All right, let's take a peek around, see what we can find. Seeing a lot of spherical objects down there. Could be spores or organisms that formed a cyst while everything's dry, and they're just waiting for the right environment to wake up and start doing their thing. Alright, what else do we find in here? Yeah, feel free to ask any questions in the chat. Do my best to answer them. Yeah, we got one little bacteria floating around in there. But let's see if we can find some cool looking spores and other stuff. What are all these little circles? This kind of looks like a little donut. I think there's just a piece of something on top maybe that's making it look like a donut. Alright, let's move around a little bit more. Taking a scroll down, but yeah, a lot of interesting stuff in here. A lot of colorful shapes and sizes that you don't usually see in your average soil sample. Yeah, we do have a lot of depth, but trying to get a good focus on the bacteria down there. But with all the stuff in here, we got quite a bit of depth to this slide, so it makes it a little trickier to focus. Alright. And sorry about all the... It looks like my microscope rig needs a little bit of cleaning, even though I don't know, since the last time I used it, that dirt magically got in there, even though it was all covered with a bag. Didn't take the camera off. It's amazing how grime can get on your microscope and mess up your image. Just finds a way in there somehow. Yeah, a little bit more. Couple little bacteria wiggling around down there. Almost looks like a fat fungal hyphae or separation of cells there. Little piece. Let's keep on going, see what else. But yeah, inoculants definitely look very cool. Not gonna find, any sort of life moving around in there like you would in a pond sample or even a soil sample, but definitely a lot of interesting stuff that you can see in there. And this right here, I'm pretty certain that's a fungal spore. I've seen them with this little Mercedes symbol on them. Sort of looks like a Mercedes symbol. Here's another one over here, but doesn't quite have the third spike. Forget exactly what sort of spore those are, but there's a whole bunch listed on here, but it's too small for me to try any of those pronunciations. But if you go to buildasoil.com, I'm pretty sure they have them all listed off there. Alright. Just taking a peek around. Probably going to be a pretty short stream because we're not doing a full soil assessment. We're just kind of taking a quick peek at this inoculant. And then we're going to test it out on the soil. So probably this weekend I'll be doing another stream and seeing how my soil looks after we've applied this inoculant to it. Let's see what we see over here. Definitely a lot of cool stuff in there. I don't know if it's just mostly all the substrate that they use, but looks really cool. Looks like it's gonna do some good stuff once it gets into my soil. Let's see, we got a strand or something over there. Nope. Alright. Take a peek over this way. Quite a bit of depth to this slide. Pretty much I always gotta focus around quite a bit. Just because all this material in here is creating a little bit more depth to the slide that I usually like. But that's okay. Doesn't have to be perfect and exactly like every other sample because we're just sort of taking a peek, not really recording the footage for data to compare to another soil sample. That's where you really want to do the whole, same ratio every time, do the slow shake, and get a nice even drop on the slide. So then you can really compare it to other samples that you take. Alright. All sorts of good looking aggregation in there. See if we can find any other cool life that might have woken up. Whatever this is, looks really cool. It's like looks like the inside of an oyster shell, how it phosphoresces like that. But if I had to guess, that's some sort of cyst or something. Highly unlikely that it's just non-living matter, being that round. But it could be. Alright, let's see. And that right there could be some type of amoeba, but kind of looks just like a mineral. But the texture on these look more like living creatures, more like amoebas. It has a very uniform texture. It's not all, it would be more random, I believe, if it was not something living on there. Alright. Another one of those donut looking things. Yeah. Definitely, inoculants are always so pretty looking under the microscope. All sorts of cool crystal-like objects. Another amoeba-like looking shape. Let's see. Hope to see some strands in there connecting that stuff together. Kind of looks like something was growing into this aggregate here, but see, yeah, a couple bacteria wiggling around in there. And just little dots at 400x here. Alright, take a short little scan around here. And we're probably going to wrap things up. Oh, all sorts of cool looking stuff going in that. Might be a looking like I'm guessing this piece actually and those other small pieces were part of the kelp meal they put in there, because that looks very plant cellular to me. But got some cool stuff actually inside of there, or breaking it down or eating it. A little bit of action there. Take another little peek around. See if there's anything else cool we can find in this little 400x scan that we're doing. Got more round looking spore things. Yeah, and they all tend to have this little spot in the middle. Huh. Kind of want to research and see if I can find a spore with a spot in the middle. Another one here. Or a cyst, or some sort of organism that forms a little cocoon to protect itself. It may have a little spot like that in the middle. Little piece of plant matter. Yeah. Some more of those, which we're assuming is kelp with the plant cells. This is looking a lot like an amoeba. Thick outer cell wall. Not moving because they sort of ooze out of that cell wall, then move around and start feeding once they wake up in their preferred environment. So it's hard to be certain exactly what it is. Yeah. Wow, that's interesting looking. What do you suppose this little cluster is with all these weird shapes inside of it? I don't think that's a mineral. Could be a large mushroom spore that I've never seen, but it's quite intricate and complicated. As I, huh? Well, that's interesting looking. All right. Any last little cool things that we might find in here? Never know what you're gonna find. And we're just looking at such a small portion. And judging the whole on just the one tiny drop. Yeah, there's another amoeba looking shape there. But it's a little glimpse into a whole new universe. One way I like to look at it. Here's another one of these bubbly looking oyster shell looking things. Wonder what that is. So, yeah. If you ever seen something like this, please drop some info in the comments. Let us know what that might be. Because, yeah. Sharing our experience with the scope and identifying these organisms is, what the channel's all about. So we all learn together. And so this has got to be a little organism there inside of a cyst. Or it's just, I mean, it looks like a tadpole in there. I guess that's why I'm saying it, but. But I would say that's maybe a little fragilate in there. Best guess, anyway. Or it's just a round thing with something stuck on top of it that looks like a little tadpole. Anyway, let's see what this. Yeah, we got these little these little sort of clusters here. That could be a culture, all grouped up right there. Yeah. Now, it kind of looks like yeast would be bigger and all groups up like that, but that's pretty small, so let's say it's more like bacteria. But here. Hey, Rich, yeah, drive safe. And yeah, no rush. It'll be up shortly after we finish this. And let's actually back out here real quick, and we're gonna switch over to 600x just to get a quicker look. Usually don't use the 600x too much, but let's take a peek and see what we can see down here. Where's my focal? Let's not bump into the slide. There we are. Alright. Let's bump up our ISO so we get a little bit more light. Probably a little too much. Yeah, right about there. And now we are in at 600x. Yeah, so here's what we were looking at before. And this kind of looks like that might just be a strand with a bunch of little particles around it. Yeah, we get in a little bit closer at 600x. I don't even have the 1000 on here because I don't mess with the oil, and I feel like you start losing a lot of focal range and a lot of resolution. I really like 600 is about as deep as I'll go. And yeah, let's take a quick look at one of these. It's looking a little bit more like an aggregate. Oh yeah, and here's another one of these cool bubbly looking things with all different circles throughout its layers. Yeah. Yep, and another one of those donut shaped brown things. I like the donut shapes. I don't really want to figure out what they are, just because I'll remember it because it looks like a donut. Alright. See what we see there. Yeah. Yeah, see a lot of these shapes too. Just two pieces. Two pieces there. You know, kind of looks just kind of like clear little segments. Yeah, and there's another one over here. Wonder if there's some sort of hyphae or spore or just a little piece of a hyphae. It'll turn into a nice big brown good one once we're in the soil. Another interesting shape. Almost kind of looks like a piece of a diatom or something. Yeah, well, some new and interesting things here, and that's one of the main keys when it comes to the soil is we want diverse and balanced soil food web. So the more the merrier. Yeah, look, this one has a big middle to it. Big old donut. With another one stacked right on top of it. Huh. Might spend a little bit of time typing in these names and seeing what I could find for pictures of all these different things. Yeah, this is too small. But I'm so bad at pronouncing these. A lot of bacillus I see in there. We spotted one or two bacillus shapes down there in the bacteria, but most soils have a lot of bacteria. What I want is more fungi in my soil, but we're getting close. Last time we were checking out my indoor soil bed, we were pretty close to a 1-to-1 fungal to bacterial ratio. Still got a lot of work to do on the outside beds, but yeah, we're gonna be we'll be working on that this spring. And yeah, I'm excited to get back outdoors. Gonna be showing you guys a whole bunch of the outdoor garden and applying products like this to it, and then scoping out the soil as we try to advance our biology. Right now I'm at 600x. Yeah, this is the farthest I go as far as the optics. Don't usually use 1000 like I was saying earlier, because this is about, you get the most focal length for the resolution, I feel, at 600x. After you go over that, you're really sacrificing the amount of depth that you get. And then, since we have a nice camera, we can blow it up and put it on a bigger screen from there, and that equals a way better 1000x to me. But most of the time we actually spend looking around at 400 or even 100x for the larger microorganisms. But you got to get into 400 to be able to see the bacteria. And every once in a while it's fun taking a closer look at 600. Like we're doing right now. Alright, well, think that's a wrap for this stream. Yeah, definitely, subscribe and hit the notifications so you catch, either going to be doing it probably Saturday. I'll get it scheduled here as soon as I know my schedule. And we're going to look at my soil after we applied this Rootwise to it and see if we notice any differences from the last stream. See if it increased our fungi, if we see some difference in the bacteria, and maybe some other, maybe some of these cysted up organisms will wake up and start swimming around. Could use a little more protozoa, and fragilates in my indoor bed. Haven't seen many of them. Not sure if this will help that. I think it's more mycelium and bacteria in here, but you never know. It's all about the diversity. Getting that nutrient cycling. All right. And so yeah, wish you guys all the best. Until next one, happy growing, and we'll catch you on the flip side.